Hey guys, it's Ryan Mayo here. I make videos about politics, finance, anything I find interesting really. And today I wanted to take a brief moment to talk about the aftermath of the election, the president's refusal to concede to President-elect Joe Biden, what that means, how that might affect the eventual transition of Joe Biden. And this is going to be coming through my YouTube channel, so if you like the content and want to see any more of my future videos, be sure to like and subscribe to that through the link. So let's get started. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, has decided to fight the election, to claim that there is mass voter fraud via these mail-in ballots, and to challenge the election in different states. So I guess what's important to note, for one, is that the president has a legal right to challenge the election and make legal arguments throughout the states, which he's doing it in Georgia, he's doing it in Arizona, he's doing it in Nevada and Pennsylvania. Now, what are the chances of success of these challenges? Right now, slim to none. I can say with objectivity, he's been laughed out of court. His lawyers have been laughed out of court a number of times because some of the arguments don't make sense. Essential to his argument is that the mail-in ballots that have been received, not when they were sent in, but if they were received or counted by the state after November 3rd, then those ballots aren't valid. The problem with his argument is that every single election, ballots are counted well after the election day. It's normal protocol. There are some states where he may have some sort of argument. So in Pennsylvania, there's what they call provisional ballots, because Pennsylvania changed their laws to allow their voters, as long as they got the ballot in the mail by election day, it could be received after the election day. Now, the problem for Trump is that his lead in Pennsylvania is not based on any of those ballots. They have segregated those ballots so that the judges or courts can adjudicate those ballots before they add them. So the problem for him is he's not making a case in the state of Pennsylvania that will overturn the election. There are other states like Arizona where he's arguing fraud of about 100 ballots, while Biden's lead in Arizona is 15,000 ballots. So the problem that the president's going to run into is that he's not making an argument that a judge can say, wait, this election is fraudulent, or this election is not valid, and we need to do something because you've been able to demonstrate a systematic amount of ballots that have been fraudulent. And that's where I think the president is basically going to run very quickly out of legs to stand on. Something else that is also having a big implication on any current transition or peaceful transfer of power, of course, is that the administration has refused to allow the transition departments to cooperate with Biden. And what that really equals out to is money. So when you transition to a new White House, and this is all whether Trump is adjudicating the cases or trying to win court cases in certain states or not. This is something normally you'd be doing regardless of what you're fighting, is you provide funds to the president-elect so that he can send people into each and every department in the government, and it's a big bureaucracy, so that they can meet with officials, that they can plan a transition. And again, this can all be done while you're adjudicating your case in court. So Trump can fight his case in court, but also plan for an eventual transition. What it feels like he's doing is really just sabotaging the next administration with the guys that he's probably not going to win any of these challenges. There's just not any evidence of mass voter fraud. And in that case, he's going to want to set himself up for 2024, rile up the base, get as many of the 70 plus million people who voted for him to be convinced that there was fraud. So one, they fight tooth and nail for those 2 open Senate seats in Georgia, special runoffs that are going to determine the balance of power in the Senate and whether a President Biden gets anything done or not. I think that's a huge part of it. And of course, his eventual 2024 run, if he decides he'd like to run, because the truth is that Donald Trump still runs the Republican Party, and everyone else has to bow to him, or the voters will turn on them. In the Republican Party, there is no party without Trump. The party is Trump, and that's fair. that's fair and true to say about how things shake out right now. So I do want to recap where the leads stand in states. Currently in Georgia, Biden's lead is 12,000. They can recount that. There's not been a recount in any history that's ever produced 12,000 votes. He's done there. In Arizona, as I said earlier, it's 15,000 votes is the spread. In Nevada, it's 36,000. In Pennsylvania, it's 45,000. And there's the provisional ballots that are hanging in the balance. I think it's between 80 and 100,000 provisional ballots. And those provisional ballots come from heavy Biden states. So if those count, his lead will only increase. I've seen estimates of another 50 to 100,000 vote spread based on the percentage of how the mail-in ballots have been breaking down that Biden could net in that state. Trump is also having litigation in Michigan where he's down 145,000 votes. And that, again, his problem is that's just too many votes. It's too difficult to prove a mass voting fraud. That takes coordination and sophistication. That's not just one person who can sit in a precinct and fill out ballots by hand. That's just not enough. It's not enough. You're not going to find irregularities of that level. We've never found it before. Fraud on that level would take electronic manipulation to really pull off. And I think that's one thing that people who are worried about fraud or fans of the president don't really understand or haven't taken a second to step back and look at it logically. To plan that type of fraud would take such an undertaking. It would have to be coordinated, and it have to be coordinated in areas like Georgia and Arizona, where the entire process is almost exclusively run by Republicans. So in Georgia, you are accusing a Republican governor, Republican lieutenant governor, Republican controllers, and secretaries of state of voter fraud to elect Joe Biden, and it's just not going to fly. It's not realistic. It doesn't make sense. So this is going to be important to the transition because it really puts the onus on Biden to either have to fund the transition himself or to have to hold off on it. Now, as it stands now, it's my opinion that this is not a big deal yet. And the reason it's not a big deal yet is because traditionally, one concession is not necessary. The president doesn't need to concede for any of this to happen. The government will move forward whether he likes it or not. It doesn't matter. Also, the votes aren't certified from the states until around December or January. So you're going to have the electors go to the Congress and vote on this stuff, and that's really going to happen very quickly. And once that happens, then the election's certified, and then his attempts to maybe not leave office would be concerning or things that you need to think about. But right now, he has his legal options. He has his right to adjudicate these cases, of which he is very likely to lose, let me be clear. But that's something he can do. Also, Trump invited a team of international observers to take a look at the election and make an assessment on the legality of it. And excuse me, they found that there was no evidence of any voter fraud, and that was a 28-member delegation that Trump himself invited to look at the election. So a lot of folks on the left are worried. They're thinking it's a full-blown coup, and what I would advise is just a little more patience and a little lowering of the temperature. Let the president take his legal options and explore them. And once we get to the end of that, and once we get to the point where these delegates are certified and Biden is officially the president-elect of the United States and on his way to the inauguration, then if there's still a bunch of funny business going around, I think it would be time to worry about that. But for now, I think everyone should chill out, let the process play out. Some of this, I believe, is just political posturing and Trump trying to find his next angle of how he's going to, save face, make money, post the presidential office, which I think he's not going to have any problem doing. But for folks on the left, you just got to let this play out because there is a legal process, and so far it's working as it's designed. And that's it for now. I just wanted to film a quick video that touches base on some of the crazy stuff that people are hearing and seeing out there in social media. Again, if you like what you see, if you're interested in the content, please feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm going to try to do a video a week updating the situation and seeing what else we can explore with this platform. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Have a good day.